EQI 2.0 is the world-leading psychometric test that measures emotional intelligence and gives you a tangible result in terms of what your emotional intelligence skill set is. It's a tool that I'm qualified to coach in, and if you want to take the test, you can purchase the test through my website. It's really important that as leaders, especially now, that we understand our emotional intelligence and we understand the skills that we have and the skills that we might not have but need to develop in order to be a more effective leader and get more out of our teams. Emotional intelligence is linked directly to performance. So the better your emotional intelligence in terms of how balanced and how well developed it is, the better you will perform as a leader, and therefore the better your teams will perform, because you will understand how to engage with them in an emotional way. You'll understand how to communicate with them in a way that they understand, and you'll understand how to problem solve for them and with them so that you can empower them to then take their actions forward. The test itself is made up of around 120 questions which you answer on a scale of 0 to 5, and then what happens at the end of the test is the results get sent to me, your coach, and I will then download your report. There's one page in the report that is most important, which is your overall EQ test, which looks like this. And these are the results across a number of different EQ subscales, ranging from self-perception to self-expression, decision-making, problem-solving, and interpersonal skills. What I'll then do is, depending on whether you've chosen a 30 or a 90-minute consultation, I'll arrange a time that's convenient for you for us to go through your report, go through your results, and then look at the areas for improvement that might help you with the challenges that you're experiencing at work day to day. What then we can do is we can then work with your team. So we can do a bulk purchase of this report where you can ask your teams to then take the psychometric test, and then we can look at their results, and we can look at what kind of emotional intelligence, strength or skill set you have across your team. There's also an option to carry out a 360-degree feedback emotional intelligence test, which is really important towards the end of the coaching cycle with me, because then that really helps you see what your stakeholders are seeing and perceiving, and from their perspective, how well your team and you are showing up for them and their needs. So there's a direct link between emotional intelligence and performance, but there's also a direct link between emotional intelligence training and coaching and the retention and motivation of our staff. So by taking this forward into your organisation, you can really help motivate and inspire your teams to perform better in their jobs, but then they'll also show up differently, and they'll want to show up and continue to show up for your organisation. So you'll see an increase in productivity, you'll see things taking less time, so you'll see an improved efficiency across your teams, and you'll see an improvement in the well-being, the motivation and the dedication of your teams as well. So ultimately, it's a win-win scenario for all leaders to look at emotional intelligence coaching from a personal perspective, but then also to roll this questionnaire and training out to their teams as well. If this is something that you'd like to move forward with, please go to my website where you can purchase your emotional intelligence test. Select a time that suits you, either a 30-minute feedback session or a 90-minute feedback session, and we can go through your report together and look at areas that we could potentially work together to develop your emotional intelligence quota. If you're then interested in rolling it out to your team, we can have that conversation, and we can put together a bulk purchase package and a team coaching package where I can work with your teams to help improve their emotional intelligence. I recommend that we work together for at least 6 months. It can take between 3 and 6 months for these emotional intelligence skills to truly develop and start showing up tangibly in the workplace. And then on an ongoing basis, we can then maybe start to work with your stakeholders and your peers to evolve the emotional intelligence culture of your organisation.